Hey everyone, welcome to the show, my so-called fabulous. I'm Tiffany and welcome back. This week we are talking fashion. One of my favorite things and actually a pillar of my business. Fashion, I just love it. And those of you out-of-state girls, maybe, and guys, we love our cowboy boots in Texas and our Western attire. And I have brought on a fabulous girl, Lizzy Bentley with City Boots. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And I've been wanting you for quite some time now. And I finally got you.
It's perfect.
See, I saw her at an event and I just kind of went, okay, I'm going in now. So, when you're like, all your friends are on your podcast and you're like, oh, okay. Anyway.
Well, I'm kind of new to town too. So getting to know everyone.
Absolutely. Well, Lizzy, what you've done with Western boots is just amazing. Your styles, your designs, and I want to get into all of that. Your favorite, how you got there, because boots are who we are, especially in Fort Worth, Texas, right? And you grew up loving boots, right?
I did. Yeah, I grew up in Amarillo, Texas. Boots were a part of my family culture. I had two grandfathers who were both avid boot collectors, lots of stories around the boots there, and instilled that in me. And when I moved to Dallas for college, that's when I saw that I got inspired by the fact that people were interested, but they didn't know where to buy boots.
Right.
And that was interesting to me because it was just, I knew exactly where to buy boots.
Yeah.
Or to find them in my mom's closet. Yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of the inspiration behind the brand. And it's been, a journey since then. I started my career in oil and gas and studied finance in college, but was always entrepreneurial. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. When I got my first job after college, my parents always joked that I was the only one in the entire extended family with a job because lots of entrepreneurs at all different levels. But anyway, that's kind of how I started, and it's all been 9 years now full-time for City Boots.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So when you were in Amarillo, when you were a little girl, you had boots.
Oh yeah, little pink boots.
Pink boots.
I wore them everywhere. I was one of those kids, and I see them around still. It's something about kids in cowboy boots. They love to wear them.
Right.
I think it's something about just the independence it gives them. They can slide them on. They get to walk around. It's like gives them some swagger, and kids just love it. It's so fun.
I think too, and I say this, little boys, but little girls too want to be a cowboy.
Oh,
there's role playing. There's
totally
imagination.
People all over the world want to be a cowboy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of romance around the idea of being a cowboy. I think that spirit that gets carried by the cowboys that you see on TV or in movies really moves people. And I think it's like the open range and the freedom and the opportunity that that character represents for people.
Right. Being in Amarillo, I mean, I know what Amarillo is about, and it's West Texas. You grew up there. When you left, you told me when I was talking to you, I mean, you went to SMU in Dallas.
Big change.
If you're familiar with SMU, it's in Dallas. Dallas is concrete city for sure. What made you choose SMU, being from such a heavy, in my opinion, Western oil and gas type of surrounding in West Texas? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think I naturally, from a young age, was always interested in the world. I give my parents, specifically my mom, probably credit for just showing us that there's so many things out there in the world. And I was ready to go and meet people from all over. And I've never looked back. Home is always there for me, and it's such a big part of who I am. But equally so, learning about the world and meeting people from all different places and backgrounds has always just been something that's driven me.
Right.
And that's why getting to do what I do now, it fits so perfectly with my personality.
Right.
Because I'm meeting people from all over, teaching them the love of cowboy boots, and that, part of going back to what we were talking about earlier, part of what I wanted to emulate with the brand is that anyone can pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone can pull it off to wear cowboy boots, because that's what I heard a lot from the girls in my hallways or at school was, I can't pull that off, but they're interested.
Right.
I call it cowboy curious.
Cowboy curious. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Mhm.
Cowboy curious.
Mhm.
I mean, because it's true. I will wear a pair of cowboy boots,
Mhm.
and I wish I had all the cowboy boots you have, but because I was that girl, and I grew up in a small town in Texas, tiny town, and I have to say, I don't know if we could afford cowboy boots. You know what I mean?
It was a special thing.
Yes, a special thing,
Mhm.
and
It still is.
yeah, for sure, for
Mhm.
sure. But I think it was. I never thought I could pull it off. You know what I mean? Until I did a photo shoot years and years ago with a formal gown.
Oh, and cowboy boots?
Right.
I love that.
Isn't
You're
that
going to have to show me
Yes.
this picture.
Isn't that fun?
That's a Lizzy move. I love that.
And I was
I'm all
styled.
about that.
Yeah, I was styled. It wasn't
Yeah,
that I
it
didn't
look fabulous.
But you know what I mean? I had that probably some of your sorority sisters and people in your dorm. I just didn't feel like I could pull it off.
Mhm.
And sometimes I'm insecure about it. Here, I'm like, gosh, I want to wear it. And my calves are too big or whatever. I mean, and I do want to talk about that too. But when you went to SMU, did you wear them all the time?
I did. So I think that as part of my way of standing out, I was getting like kind of attention for wearing boots, and I liked that.
Yeah.
And so I started going in harder, and that's when my addiction came into play. I probably left with 6 or 7 pairs, left college, entered with 1 and left college with 6 or 7 pairs.
Really?
So, because, one, it's like handbags. One
is
boot
true.
doesn't do all the jobs.
No, not at all. I have several pairs of boots. The problem is with my boots,
Mm-hmm.
they're not comfortable for me. It's the boot
Well,
I'm wearing.
you got to have comfortable.
Yes, you
Come
do.
try city boots.
Yeah, of
We're
course.
known for our comfort.
Of course. And that's what I have muscular calves. I'm not saying I have big calves, but a muscular calf. So finding that boot, not an extremely point toe for my bunions,
Right.
Tell us how you there's a boot for everyone.
There is, and it may not always be with one brand. We have a lot of women. We come in all different shapes and sizes, so we're really working on having something for everyone.
Yes.
Most of our boots are really tall, so for the athletic calf woman, it does become a little more challenging. But we recently came out with an extended version, so and it's just as beautiful, just as slimming. Great product line for us. And it's just eased some of that. But there's something for everyone. You can have short boots, tall boots, and really finding something in a brand that works for you and your foot, because we all have different design tools, from lasting to the pattern that the boot's made in.
Right.
There's somebody out there for you.
Yeah.
Even if you have to go fully custom.
Yeah. Oh, and that's right. You can do that. Now, do you do fully custom?
We do not.
You do not.
We did for a little while.
Okay.
But in the end, it didn't fit with my vision for the brand, which was to take cowboy boots all over the world, really.
Right.
And it kind of slowed down that process. So we decided to kind of focus on ready to wear.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a good
That's great. And that's, hey, people listening to the show, sometimes you can't, things just don't work out, and it's okay, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And we do offer personalization, and we're hoping to expand on that as well.
Oh, really? Like what?
So you can do your initials on the straps. That's where we offer personalization, and we do offer custom calf fitting as well.
Okay, because I need it. I need it. Maybe I'm shrinking in my old age. I don't know. Okay, when you went to SMU, what was the color of boots you took with you?
Oh, I definitely took them from my mom's closet, and they were like a bronze metallic.
Okay.
That's funny. I haven't thought about those in a long time.
Bronze metallic. She still has them.
I doubt those things are still around after I had them in college.
Maybe not. Vintage, right?
But I do have some pairs.
Okay. See, and that's always do I get a black pair or a brown pair? No, I want a metallic pair. I really do. And just, there's so many cool things. But Anyway, okay, so you had a bronze pair there, and you got a lot of attention. I mean, that is wonderful. Did you wear out to sorority recruitment is the question.
I can't remember.
I am jogging that memory.
That out.
As you should.
That thing is, recruitment is crazy.
It is. It is.
Oh.
These girls going through it, and I write recs, and I'm like, oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh.
I know.
Yeah, that's it. Y'all, let me interrupt the show for just a minute to introduce you to one of my new favorite products. Following my breast explant surgery, I discovered ASEA and have been using Renew 28 ever since. Seriously, I'm not sure how I ever lived without this product. The fabulous gel has helped fluff my breasts post-surgery, reduce the crepiness on my arms, tighten and smooth my face, and help heal a nasty scar on my daughter's foot. I'm serious, it's so fabulous. This will continue to be a staple in my home for sure. You will just love the youthful appearance it provides and the hydrated, smooth way your skin will feel. I love all the ASEA products I've tried, and I'm sure you will too. Learn more and shop at shopasea.com/Tiffany Blackmon. And again, that's shopasea.com/Tiffany Blackmon, or click the link in the show notes. Okay, so you graduated with a finance degree.
I did.
Went into oil and gas, which is very familiar for you, right? Was
Yes.
it comfortable for you going there?
I loved the industry.
Yeah.
I grew up in it, and I don't know. I really loved it. I love the spirit of the people. Talk about an entrepreneurial group of people, and ambitious. And I love being around all that ambition and entrepreneurship. So that's how I started. I think it was comfortable for me. And if it weren't for oil and gas downturns as they happen, I would probably still be there today. But I ended up leaving the industry in a downturn. That being said, I had already started City Boots previously.
You did?
Yes. So I would use my vacation days to go visit factories. I had basically a system where I would put X amount of dollars a month towards this what was a pipe dream at the time.
Right.
Whether it was buying my website domain or ordering samples, all different things that go into starting a business.
Right.
And I got the opportunity to do it full time and have not looked back. So
Isn't that amazing?
it's really fun.
That's
I really
dream.
feel very lucky.
Yes.
Mhm.
So in oil and gas, I shared with you, my niece was in oil and gas, and it was very difficult because, and I want to talk about this because this podcast is to help people, especially young women graduating college. We don't always know what to do. You know what I mean? If you're not,
Nobody does.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, okay, if you're going to med school, you kind of know. And
that's true.
But these women that are in a male-dominant industry, how difficult was that? Because I'm assuming it is a male-dominant industry.
Oil and gas, yes, and so is finance. I think, honestly, the harder part is just that leaving college and going into your career. That part of life is so hard, and I feel like nobody talks about it. So I've witnessed it with my team as well. It's a rough transition going from going to class to having to show up 5 days a week, 40 hours. It's exhausting. And then to be thrown in the mix with all different ages of people. I don't know. It's just a hard time in life, or it can be. And I think especially as a young woman in a male-dominated field, I mean, I was probably very naive to that whole dynamic.
Sure.
I graduated in the Sheryl Sandberg lean in era of career. And so we had a lot of resources if you wanted them for how to lean in and women empowerment. So I think in general, just starting your career at that age is kind of difficult. And then to throw in, I mean, as a woman, you're having to get ready earlier, and it's harder to find time to take care of yourself.
Right. Not going to the bars and staying up all night, and then paying your own
way.
Oh, then there's that. I mean, there's
Yeah.
that, not just getting thrown into it. I think my upbringing, I grew up in a small Texas town, Central Texas, and I don't think I was prepared for anything. I mean, we went, again, a wonderful childhood, but small town teachers, and I graduated with 14 people.
Wow.
And,
Very
yeah,
small.
and here I am, TCU. I started out at Stephen F. Austin, massive, and I just remember I was a straight A plus student in English, and I get my paper back, and it's blood red and failed it. What? Just discouraged.
Yeah, and I think that that's part of the challenge in starting your career as a woman is there are less, and probably for you, there's less examples out there of what path you can take. So even for you going to college, and if you're from such a small town, there's less people from your town for you to see the different options of different ways to go. And I think as we're growing up, it's part of what drives us is seeing what other people have done and following other paths. So hopefully, like what we're doing today can help some other women out there.
Absolutely.
Who are looking for a path.
Absolutely looking for a path. And then there's family pressure too. And not that you had it or that I had it all, but that women that have the family pressure to go into a role, they spend 4+ years at a university, higher level, possibly get their master's, and they hate it. Lizzy, what do you tell people, young women and men, that go into a career because you didn't hate it?
Yeah, I
just
didn't know.
You just were ready, and you had a dream. So
yeah, I don't know what I would tell because I never had that experience. It's hard for me to say, but what I would say is it's up to you to find what you do like, and take responsibility and action in your own life. So if you are unhappy, recognizing that is the first step, and then educating yourself on what the other options are. And I think that's kind of
half the battle.
That's the advice I would give.
Yeah, and do not live your life for someone else. Right, is what I always say. And I know I'm a people pleaser. I always have been. And I do share that with women. I have women that are my age, attorneys, extremely financially successful, that want to be a Pilates instructor. I mean, but make yourself happy,
Yeah, I think at the end, my perspective on that is we're all responsible for ourselves, and some of us are given more opportunity than others and more hardships than others, which I know we're going to talk about. But at the end of the day, you're the only one who can decide for yourself, and also you only get one life.
Oh,
so
no give.
That's what drives me to follow my heart and find what my next steps are in life, is just realizing how limited time can be, and doing the best with the time we're given.
Absolutely, because we only have one life, just like you said. And I say this all the time. We have one body. You have to take care of it. You have one life. Remember there was a soap opera, One Life to Live, or is that still going on? I don't even know. I don't even watch. I watch one thing, The Housewives and TCU football. Oh, my goodness. So I do want to talk to you because I shared with you last week when we spoke a little bit about adversity. And I was at a time in my life that I married the wrong person, and it led me to years of shame and guilt and seclusion. And I shared it for the first time with people that have known me forever on my podcast. And that was quite shocking. And I know you and I have had adversity, and I found that sharing has helped people. And you have had some heartbreak in your life, and the adversity that you arise, because it's not easy. I've had heartbreak, but your husband died at a very early age. And people often wonder, how do you survive that adversity in your life? How did you do that? Because it was very young for you both.
Yes, I was 29, and it was very sudden. So if I was asked that question, which you just asked me, I would say that we as humans are very strong and actually much stronger than we think we are. And people ask me that a lot, which is how, like, I can't imagine how that would feel. And yeah, I still can't, but I've lived it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just saying, like, I was stronger than I thought I was.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for that.
Right.
So it's a journey, and we're all served different adversities in life. And so I have been also private about mine. This is probably only the first or second time I've talked about it, but I always had the feeling of, whereas you had the feeling of shame, I always had the feeling of, I don't know how I'm going to move through this. So I don't want the pressure of, because when you're going through grief, every day is a new day, and you may feel completely different day to day. And eventually, for me, thankfully, that's leveled out. And so it's taken 5 years, but I think that I was hesitant to share until I really knew that I was going to come out of it.
Right.
And
that is a great point.
Mm-hmm. And so now, and what's the story I want to tell, right? I don't want to tell a story of like poor me or victim. I want to tell a story of you can do really great things even if you're served really hard things.
Yeah, you can. Mm-hmm. You can.
And you're a great example of that as well. And I often find that people who have done the greatest things have been through the hardest things.
They have.
It's amazing the stories that I read about people. I'm a big reader, and a lot of the stories I read are basically people going through really hard stuff. Mm-hmm. And a lot of successful people have been through loss. They've been through divorce. They've been through all kinds of things, tragedy. And it's a great driving force to remind you, like we talked about earlier, that, we only have one life to live, and better show up.
Yeah, exactly. When I finally did, I just cannot believe where I was in my life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I'm sure hindsight.
Oh,
I'm looking forward to that phase of mine too, where I have a little bit of hindsight, but how long has it been for you?
I was 21.
So,
21, and she's referring, I married a man and he murdered someone. Mm-hmm. And it was just awful. It was awful. Can you imagine that age? No. Just graduated TCU. And I look at my daughter that's 25, and I'm just my mama claws come out. And I can't imagine what my parents went through.
Oh, that's a big parents thing too. I think now enough time has passed that I look back at my family and how this has affected them. It trickles. Mm-hmm. So many things when you deal with tragedy, loss, hardship.
Yeah.
It trickles into everything.
But when you're in the moment, you just can't see it.
You can't. Tunnel vision.
You can't see it.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I wanted to see it. I was in such denial. Oh, I'm so embarrassed myself. So I was in California for the TCU game last week. And my bonus granddaughter, mm-hmm. We were at dinner, and she goes, Tiffy, I was listening to your podcast the other day. I didn't know you were married before Mr. Bobby or for Edad. And I'm like, you didn't? Uh-huh. She goes, no, you never talked about it. So I was telling her about my conversation with you. And I said, my friend Lizzy and I were talking last week, and I just talking, I hope I helped. She goes, yes, this is so helpful. I told her about the shame. And, I just don't want people to think that, to be shameful. So anyway.
That's great. That's a great message. I'm a big Brene Brown fan.
Yes.
She's amazing. Every young girl, young man should read that book.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I started my podcast 5 years ago almost, she helped me. She really helped me. There was a shame and guilt podcast, and I said, oh my gosh, that's what I need to do. So I just took it on. So anyway, I digress. So let's talk about fashion.
Okay.
So girl, tell me, you have City Boots. What is it named after?
Okay, so City Boots is named after a nickname that I acquired. What? Before I started City Boots, I was always going back and forth between my city life and my country life, I guess, for lack of a better word, and really loving both of them. And so I would bring different things from my city life into whatever I was doing with my friends, whether it was going to rodeos or whatever we were doing.
Right.
And then same thing, vice versa. And so I acquired the nickname from a cowboy at the NFR in Vegas, and he called me City.
He did.
And when I took it back to my friends at SMU, they loved it.
They loved it.
So,
oh my gosh. You heard it right here, y'all. City Boots.
Yeah.
So tell me all about the business. You're here in Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm.
It's your headquarters. Who does the designs? Where do you make these? Everything.
So I still design everything.
You do?
I do.
Lizzy.
Yes. It's something that, I don't know. I'm doing this for a reason, and I enjoy that part of it.
Yeah.
So for now, I'm still doing the designs. I can't say that'll be forever,
Sure.
because I'm not sure how long that makes sense. But for now, everything that you see comes from my little brain. And I've got 10 wonderful people on my staff, and we produce everything in Mexico, which a lot of people don't know. Leon, Mexico is where cowboy boots have been made for years and years and years, and it's the largest cowboy boot manufacturing city in the world.
Really?
And it's generational. You're working with artisans that are, fathers standing next to sons, teaching the trade, and it's really amazing what they're able to do down there.
Wow. Wow. Where in Mexico?
In Leon, Mexico. Okay. It's in the state of Guanajuato.
Yes.
Most people here are familiar with San Miguel de Allende, and so it's close to there.
Is it? How fabulous is that? And you go often?
I do, yeah, depending on what's going on with the business. I enjoy San Miguel as well. So sometimes I'll try to do both, but there's a direct flight, and I'm on a flight a lot of days.
Right. Do you have a brick and mortar?
Yes, we actually have 3 brick and mortar. We have one in Fort Worth on Vickery with the local studios and gallery women. And then we have one in Houston, and we have one that we just opened this summer in Austin.
Really?
So you'll have to go check it out.
Where in Austin?
It's right by the original Kirby Lane.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. That is fabulous.
It's a little boot bungalow.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. So the designs, you said most of your boots are tall, correct?
They are, but we started with the tall boot because that to me what was missing in the market.
Mm-hmm.
But now we've started coming out with some shorter styles and some mid styles. We're about to come out with a brand new silhouette I'm really excited about. I'm not sure when this is going to air, but it's going to be really great. And something new for our customers.
Really?
So look forward to that.
Great. So do you offer like you said I can come in, but there's suede, leather, there's metallics, there's different colors, right?
Yeah, there's so many different things that go into choosing like the correct boot for you. The first thing I ask people is, are you looking for something that's going to go with a lot of things? Or are you looking for something that's more of a statement?
Right.
And that'll really help you. We have great options for both, and our customers choose both. And a lot of times they end up coming in and getting one of each eventually.
Yes.
Because it's so much fun to have a cowboy boot that is like the exclamation point to your outfit.
Yes, it is.
But it's also great to have, because we're known for our comfort, it's great to have a pair you can just throw on that you know is going to go with everything.
Right. And the toes, the point.
Our toes are almond, very neutral toe.
Okay.
And to me, I've always been inspired by vintage, and that was what my grandmother wore. And
wow.
So that's I kind of brought it back.
That's so great. That is so beautiful. I love it. You mentioned earlier, I love because Kennedy, my daughter, and I are in business together. She's basically my boss.
Yes.
Your mom and you were about your
Yes,
business
my
together.
mom and I started City Boots together.
Did you really?
Yes. So again, giving my mom and my parents credit for just the encouragement that I needed to have the confidence to start my own business. I didn't know until I started that my mom is an excellent salesman.
Is she?
Yes. She is quite the salesman. And so she really helped me in the beginning days, I think for a young entrepreneur, one of the bigger struggles I had was not wanting to put myself out there and the product that I believed in to sell it. Yeah. Or maybe I didn't believe in it that much.
Right.
I believed in it for me and I liked it, but she showed me that other people would like it as well.
Right.
And that gave me the confidence to keep going and learning sales myself and putting myself out there more. I've got a good mom. And then I bought her out a couple years ago.
That's get out of here.
No, she had just she was ready to not be a part of it. So.
Right. It's a lot of work. I mean, a lot of work. I'd love to say it's a young girl's game, but we're never finished. Moms are never finished. And she did her job giving you the confidence.
Totally.
I mean, what a gift, right?
Such a gift.
I mean, moms have here I go with my analogies all the time. Moms have the most important job in the world.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
To raise their children.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they're blessed enough to have the children, that's their most important job, you know. Always listen, but again, mine's my boss. She tells me no all the time.
That's good. You got to have that.
Well, I don't know this technology like she does. Algorithms.
That's good.
And all that crap.
Is she married?
No. She's
well,
not
by
married.
the time y'all get around to planning a wedding, you guys will be working together real smooth. Our wedding planning was so smooth because we already knew how to work together.
See, absolutely.
Yes.
You do a lot of pop-ups, don't you?
We do, yes. I have a whole part of my company dedicated to popping up.
Wow.
It's a great tool for getting the brand out there and getting in front of people.
And I see you all over the place, Nashville, everywhere. Is it? And please forgive me. Do you go to market? Is that a thing?
No, so we're direct to consumer.
Okay.
City Boots is direct to consumer. That was kind of when I started City Boots. That was the new thing on the block. Mm-hmm. It was whenever all like the Warby Parker and all the mattress companies were going to direct to consumer, and I was always interested in the technology side too. Right. So at the time, nobody was doing direct to consumer cowboy boots, and I wanted to be first mover in that space. So it works great for us. We have a couple of wholesale clients. Love Shack Fancy has been a great partner for us. Great. As well as we just, you can find City Boots at St. Bernard Sports as well.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. And then at Capri in San Antonio.
Oh, wonderful. That's what I was going to ask because this podcast, thank goodness, I'm so blessed, is global.
Mm-hmm.
So if a person in Michigan, Spain, Canada, how can they get a pair of your boots?
Cityboots.com. Our largest store is our online store. And we ship to all countries and states. I think we've shipped to 48 states at this point. Wow. Holding out for West Virginia and New Hampshire, if you know anyone.
I'm on it.
Anyway, it's been a fun journey.
It is. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you. And thanks for having me.
Oh, we forgot to say what we have. We're twinning. Okay.
This is how we bonded.
I had mine on. We did bond. We walked into an event together. Look, our hearing devices. I call them my girls. But these are our hearing devices. Okay, so this is so funny. Lizzy walked up to me and she goes, "I see your wire," and I'm like,
which I'm realizing now is probably not something I should say, but I'm like proud of mine. So
she is. So I asked her about it.
These have changed my life.
It's tiny, and I put it behind my ear, and I am. You're vain too. Give me a break. But I'm like, so I don't know what it is. I'm always saying, oh, it ages me. Oh my gosh, I have children that, I mean, you're half my age, my gosh, but there's children and I embrace it. I really do because we're so blessed. You know what she said to me? We were literally, she goes, I had no idea. You just started wearing them. I had no idea the tape on the boxes was so loud.
So loud. Water. I'm hearing all kinds of new sounds, but it's really, I think the reason why I'm like so excited about them is because they've changed my life. I have so much more energy because I'm not trying so hard to hear what people are saying.
Yes.
And I've had my hearing loss from birth, so I just never knew what I was missing.
Yes.
And in what I do, I'm talking to people all day and having lots of different serious conversations, and you miss it.
You miss it.
And
so, the pandemic with masks, we were screwed.
Oh, masks were...
we couldn't hear.
No.
We couldn't hear.
How long have you had yours?
3 years, 2.5 years probably. And one of my best friends is my audiologist. And we had my dad in and my in-laws in. And she knew, because she had hearing loss very young age, like yourself.
Mm-hmm.
She knew, and she's like, let me do a baseline test. I'm like, fine. So I did it, and she's just like, then she did my podcast. And she said, do you know what you're doing to your brain? There's a study.
And that's why I got him.
Alzheimer's, early onset dementia.
Because you start checking out and your brain stops. And it's true. If I can't hear, I'm not going to say what.
Well, check it.
Although I do say what a lot.
I'm so nervous. I'm going to an influencer conference.
That's exciting. Good for you.
It is. It's great, but I'm so nervous because a lot of times it's hard. It's loud. And so we just turned this into a hearing podcast. But you know what I mean?
Well, there's so many people out there who are hesitant to get hearing aids because they think it ages them.
Yep.
And I don't get it. It's like glasses to me.
You embrace it.
Yeah.
And I do too. I really do. I'm embarrassed to say that bothers me. She's like, wear your hair down. I'm like, girl, I had my extensions in today. I never wear my hair down. But, it's just another thing. You overcome adversity and show people that it's okay.
I told you earlier, but for me, the worst part about getting hearing aids is that they told me that this was my hair color.
And I want you to know we have the same color hearing aids.
It is.
She's a beautiful blonde. Oh my God.
I was like, that's not my hair color. She's like, well, yes, it is.
I'm kind of jealous because yours are, she got a text. And see, I have the tiny ones that the technology's not there. She said, so-and-so just text me. I went, Dr. Robin Carson, I'm coming at you. So,
oh yeah, that's the best. I have like little Secret Service in my ears all the time.
You're wired.
Mm-hmm.
Wired. You are just fabulous. And I'm so happy to know you and call you friend now. And I look forward to many, many times with you. And
yes, thank you for having me. This has been really fun.
How can we find you?
So you can find City Boots at cityboots.com and on Instagram at citybootsofficial. My personal Instagram, if you want to follow I'm trying to do better about like fashion tips and things,
Yes.
is at Lizard Boots.
Good.
Which was another college nickname. And yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And you can find all of her information in the show notes, everyone. And we appreciate you following along. And I say it every single Tuesday. Keep being fabulous.